Hello, hello, and welcome to the full moon ceremony for the full moon in Leo. That is today on February 16th, 2022. I really wanted to do this ceremony because it's a really powerful full moon. Everybody's talking about this full moon because of the vibes, because it's a full moon's all about releasing, right? So when we release what no longer serves us, that allows us to step into a much more powerful and grounded version of our own authenticity. And so Leo, the zodiac sign Leo, is all about authenticity, boldness, fierce, powerful moves that put you in this place of self-sovereignty and like king and queen energy, and doing all of these things that maybe you're scared to do, but that you know are right for you ultimately. And so I was actually watching The Lion King the other day, and there's a part where Simba says to Mufasa, like, aren't you scared? And he's like, yeah, I am scared. But well, obviously I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, yeah, I am scared, but like, I'm king. This is what I have to do. And so that's kind of the energy that we really want to ground into. But first, we have to release what no longer serves us, because if those limiting beliefs of like, I'm not confident enough, or I'm not powerful enough, or things that kind of really just hold you back from stepping into that energy, as much as you want to step into it, as much as you know why and know exactly what it is that you want to step into, even if you're super clear on that, those habits of the beliefs that talk to you all day long in your ego, they're going to stop you. And so we want to release them. And the energy right now is so potent to do that. And it's just like kind of a perfect storm of alignment too with the planets, because Venus and Mars are on top of each other for I think another like week or 10 days or something. But Venus and Mars are like male and female energy, like divine masculine to divine feminine. It's a very sexual type of energy, and they love to be on top of each other. So it's also this like this perfect storm of releasing with the full moon, calling in your power with the Leo energy, and then also creating a balance of divine masculine and divine feminine energy to go forward with that, with these new things that you want to do in this Leo energy that we're stepping into. And so when on 8/8/21 was the Lionsgate portal, and it initiated all of these things that we want to do, that we feel we want to step into, all of these powerful, whether it's starting a business or whether it's just like really owning up to who you've been being and who you actually want to be, and just kind of facing the music within yourself. And the Lionsgate portal opened up that energy, and now 8 + 8 is 16, so now it's 216, and we're right about halfway to like Leo season. So it's very synchronistic in terms of when this full moon in Leo kind of landed, and it's really coming into like not wrap up the energy, but bring it all together, like have a full circle moment and really truly move on from here. So if you have any sage or Palo Santo or anything like that, definitely light it up. If you have any crystals, that I'm doing dragon's blood sage. This is for really stepping into like a powerful energy. And so if you have any crystals that you love, that make you feel powerful, that make you feel bold, definitely bring those with you. I have carnelian next to me. So it's like a red heart, all the Leo energy right there. And so what we're going to do first is if you have like a journal, or if you just want to sit and think about it and maybe like let it marinate and journal on it after, that would be totally fine. Kind of do whatever calls to you in this moment. I know that sometimes when someone poses a question to me, it marinates in my head first, and then like I'm able to journal on it and really open up after. So use whatever process works for you. And if you don't have a process yet, then just really feel into which option feels good for you. And so I want you to really start to dive in and think about what has been holding you back. Actually, let's start with, what is it that you want? And I've been asking myself this question a lot lately, because we're all always manifesting things. We're all always manifesting, especially if you're in this space. If you're listening to this ceremony, then you're already on this path of personal development. And we're all always trying to call in this new sense of being, this more full expression of ourselves, or this more powerful version of ourselves, or more money, or more confidence, or looking better, or stepping into your avatar in a different way, and like all these different things. And what happens is we can get so caught up with what we're trying to call in, and we start to look to others for examples. And I've done this myself, where I look to others and I'm like, okay, let's use this as a manifestation technique. They're doing so well. Let me just like kind of open my brain to the possibility that like this is a real thing. And if it can happen for that person, then it can happen for me. But what happens with that, and especially with social media in 2022 and all of these things, is that we start to play the comparison game, where we start to be like, at first it's inspiring, and then it's, damn, why do they have it and I don't? What's wrong with me? What am I not doing that I'm not getting the kind of response that they're getting? How come money isn't getting routed to me? How come my business isn't taking off? How come I'm not getting clients? How come I'm not getting a job? How come I'm not getting like a lover that looks like this person's situation, and all of these different things? And so there's a really, really fine line between inspiring and comparison. And even people that I followed for inspiration, if I'm in that low vibe, or if it's going to mirror back to me the work that I have to do to get the thing, to step into the energy, to raise up to the vibration to get the thing. And so it's so much more about the work and the energy, and being the feminine divine energy of like being, rather than the masculine of doing, to receive it. Like you can do all of the things. Like I can pretend I'm confident. I can pretend that my business is doing great. I can pretend that, like, okay, I dyed my hair red a long time ago for confidence. Literally, I had just gotten done with a breakup. I said, this is a fucking power move. Like, I want to do this, and it's going to make me feel really good. And you know what? It did make me feel really good. It did help me to step into the next version of me. But the shit that I didn't deal with in terms of my confidence and my insecurities, red hair did not fix that. It just didn't. And actually, it made people stare at me more. And then I had to like really deal with it even more. So it mirrors back to you. Any decisions you make, even in the physical reality, if you kind of want to make like this surface level decision, it's going to mirror back to you exactly what you actually want. So what I want to do today is really get clear on what we actually want, because as we do the whole inspiring that sometimes turns into comparison and all of those things that I was just talking about before, you get lost in what you actually want, because you're living and looking at somebody else's shit that looks fun, but like, do you really want that in your life? Because I see, like, as a coach, I see coaches booked with clients every day, and I'm like, and there's been times where I'm like, oh, like I wish I had that. And then I'm like, but do I really want to be booked every single day? Like, do I want all of those clients, or do I want more freedom and maybe more passive income and maybe a few really soul-centered people that I can interact with? And that's where you kind of step into what you actually fucking want. And so we're going to get really, really clear on that today. So I want you to start to think about and journal on this. And I'll give a few minutes for us to just kind of like reflect on this, about 10 minutes, because I want to go kind of deep. Where, what do you want? Like, what do you want for this energy that you've been feeling? Maybe you have been really feeling strongly about confidence or love or business or money, or I don't know, any of those things or anything else, but you'll know what energy has felt strong within you. Like for me, it's been money. For me, it's been stepping into a place where I'm ready to receive all of the money I want because I know how I'm going to handle it differently now. And so it's all about getting clear on, it's kind of like making a plan, but it's like a loose plan where it's like, this is like a pact with the universe. Like, I'm going to do this when I get this because this is the energy that I want to step into. I don't want to just get the money and blow it all in 24 hours or a month. I want to get it and I want to handle it differently, and I want to be a different person with it. And so it can be the same thing with your confidence. Like, do you want to just have one day of confidence, or do you want to have this self-sustainable confidence? Same thing with love. Do you want to just have any like Joe Schmo walk into your life, or do you want to have a fully conscious relationship that may be really fucking hard because it holds a mirror up to you, but it's super rewarding and it's super aware and growth oriented? So I want us to put our egos aside right now and forget about how hard these changes may be to make, and just think about, if none of it were hard, what would you want? So take the next 10 minutes to journal on that. And it could be everything, or it could be one thing. It, you know, like there's usually multifaceted ways to what we want. So if it is a whole multitude of things, let yourself run fucking wild and think about that and visualize that. And just, if nothing was hard, what would you want? So for the next 10 minutes, let's do that. And I'll put on some music. We're about halfway through almost, so keep going and make sure super specific on what you want. Nothing is hard. Nothing is hard. You can have it all right now. What is it? Okay, so just pause that. Okay, so I hope that that was super expansive and that maybe you got a little bit emotional, or I know I got chills while I was writing mine because I started to play small while writing mine a little bit. And then I said, fuck that. And I upped it. And then I got chills. So I hope that you stepped into that kind of energy, whatever it meant for you. And now we're going to really, while that process was maybe emotional, but also fun to kind of visualize what you want, and also like such a bigger version of you. So, and even if you weren't visualizing or writing down you specifically, like the things that the bigger version of you receives and has in their life is just so expansive to even think about, and your mind starts to now create evidence. My dog is scratching at the door, so I apologize for that. So it starts to create evidence of either why you can have it or why you can't have it. And so we have this thing in our brain, I forgot what it's called, but it basically is like this, the logical part that's just like, okay, here's the evidence, here's the evidence, here's the evidence, and it starts to create the belief. And so right now, since we don't see these things in our life currently, we have the beliefs of, I don't have this, I don't currently have this in my physical reality. And so our brain is going to focus on that and create evidence of why we don't have it. And that's where manifesting becomes hard, because you have to believe it before you see it. And so I know it's a full moon and we're releasing, but I really believe that this full moon is about both. It's about release, like seeing what's possible, seeing this big expansive version of you, and then releasing everything that isn't that. So it's literally like taking a huge block of marble and chiseling away until you see like the guy standing there that everybody has like knows about and has visualized. So that's what we're doing here. And so, okay, so we're gonna now go deep, and we're going to use this part of our brain to our advantage right now. So right now, you took all the things you want. Your brain is now searching right now. It's like searching files for all the reasons you can't fucking have it. So we're going to say, all right, great. I want you to do this right now. I want to see all the reasons I can't have it. I want to see all the reasons it's going to be hard. So this is going to be the deep, deep, like shadow work part of this ceremony, where we cannot release things to get to what we want without knowing what they are. Same thing with we can't get what we want without knowing what it is. So we're going to now ask ourselves, do some shadow work and ask ourselves to face the music a little bit and think of this list that you just wrote down. And now we're going to kind of flip that exercise on its head for another 10 to 12 minutes. And now I want you to make a list of all the reasons why you can't have that right now. All the reasons why it could be hard. Because we said if nothing was hard, this is what you want. So what are all of the things that make it hard? What are all of the obstacles that may get put in your way? What are all of the limiting beliefs that you have right now? And even if you're not aware of your limiting beliefs, they're going to come out right now. And now this is how we're going to be able to release that. So then after this exercise, we're going to cut the cord with those things, do a cord cutting ceremony and meditation. And then I have another little surprise for afterwards. So for the next 10 to 12 minutes, let's do all the reasons why getting these things or becoming the person that has these things will be hard. Your brain is working with you to come up with these things right now. So it's the perfect time to ask it this question. think of when you were writing the list of what you want, if any fears came up in the process. That would be a really powerful thing to write down right now as well. Okay. Okay. So that may have been hard to face the music. I know some of the things I wrote down are things that I think on a daily basis, but when we say them or we write them, they kind of become a little bit more real. And it's it's hard to face that. It's hard to face the things that are currently in your reality. But remember that we are master manifestors. Whether we believe it or not, we are. And so all of the things that are in our current reality, at some place in time, we either wanted them or we needed them to be here to mirror back to us what we don't want. And so it's all here for a reason. I truly always believe that. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy. And I think bringing the light to what is hard about it helps us to acknowledge it before we release it. Acknowledge that it is real. It was present. It did exist in our timeline right now. It did exist in our physical reality. And just because it existed doesn't mean it needs to continue existing. But it did exist, and it did teach us something, and it did show us a more clear path of what we do want. So we're going to now do a cord cutting meditation to release those things with gratitude for getting us really clear on what we do want. So I will invite you to close your eyes with me. And let's start to drop into our body. And we're going to start with 5 deep breaths with counts of 4. So we're going to go in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. Out through the mouth for 4, 3, 2, 1. In through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top and release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Big deep breath in, big belly breath in through the mouth, in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it and release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe it in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top and release for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one, big belly breath in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top, hold it and sip in one more breath and then release it. Really sponge out the lungs. And then after, you can keep your eyes closed. Now that we're more in the body, out of our head, and you can return to your natural cycle of breathing with no judgment for what we did just do and how your breathing is now. It just is. And just let it be. Let it be. And so now I want you to think about all of the things we wrote down, all of the things your soul desires that came out on that paper. And then all of the reasons why it's hard to have those things for you right now. Maybe it's because you don't have it. Maybe it's because you're scared to step into becoming the person who does have it. Maybe you don't want to release an old identity because you don't know what that means. What does it look like? How do I even begin to be somebody else? change can be scary and overwhelming. But the thing about change is that it needs to happen for us to access the level of desires that we are already deserving of. It's not that we don't have these things because we don't currently deserve them. It's all about rising to become the version of you that already has them. I had us do these 2 exercises because when you see the things that you want and then you see why you don't have them, we make it mean so much about us. We make it mean that we're not worthy. That's why we don't have it, or whatever kind of belief came up in the process of seeing what you want and then seeing why you don't have it. And those triggers are real, but they are blessings. And so I want you to, as we are here present in our bodies, to think of those hard things. Think of how they've shown up in your life currently, in the past. Think of moments that they held you back. Or they're just words, right? Now they're just words on a paper. They don't really have that much power over us when we don't allow them to. And so sometimes acknowledging our fears make them a lot smaller. And then it's a lot easier to move forward and put them into perspective. Know that they are there along with your ego. Your ego bruised them up to protect you from being uncomfortable. What we want is change, and being uncomfortable is something that comes with change. Nobody can change without being uncomfortable in some way. And so while the ego is trying to protect us with these beliefs or hard things, obstacles, resistance, blockages that are put in our way, it's because it's here to protect and serve, love us, keep us comfortable. But that's not what we want. To be great, to be bold, to be the loudest, boldest, most powerful, fullest expression of you, whatever that means, there's always going to be some fear involved. Fear of adequacy, fear of if this is really you, but it is you. You wouldn't have had the desire to be this person if it wasn't you. So now I want you to really sit up straight and imagine cords coming out of your midsection. White cords, like white glowing cords, just coming out of your midsection and just shooting off into space, into the abyss. You can't even see where they end. And as many cords as you had things on that list, doesn't have to be exact, your soul knows. And I want you to imagine a scissor. That scissor could be anything tailored to you. It could be gold. It could be, I don't know, it could look like royal and like all cool with frilly stuff on it. It could be anything that your soul wants it to be to make it feel like it's your scissor for cutting these cords. And then you're going to go and start cutting them one by one. As you cut them, say in your head, I release you with love, or you could say it out loud. I release you with love. Thank you for serving me, but I no longer need your services. I release you with love. Thank you for serving me, but I no longer need your services. I release you with love. Thank you for serving me, but I no longer need your services. I release you with love. Thank you for serving me, but I no longer need your services. Keep repeating it however many chords you have. There's no right or wrong amount. Watch them just fall away from you. They are no longer a part of you. They never were, really. They were just connecting you to something that did not belong to you. And so as you wrap up cutting the cords to the things that no longer serve you, I want you to hone in on this overwhelming sense of love that you have in your heart right now. I feel it, and I know that this feeling of releasing ourselves from something that doesn't serve us anymore, for something that felt so heavy. Love is something that comes up right away. Relief, happiness, lightness. And so I want you to just really soak all of that up right now. Soak it up. All of the love, all of the light, all of the space you have inside of you right now, because you don't feel bogged down by all the bullshit. Really feel into this feeling. And I want you to imagine that there's a big, pink, fluffy heart in front of you, just kind of floating in front of you. You can customize it to whatever your mind wants to draw on it. Mine is big and fluffy. And I want you to visualize it coming closer to you and getting bigger, starting to expand. As it gets closer to you, you realize that it is translucent and there's things floating around inside of it. It keeps getting closer, and you wonder with curiosity what is floating inside of this big, fluffy heart. It finally stops right in front of your face. You look inside and you see all of the things that you desire and want that you wrote on your list. Every single thing is right in front of you right now. In your presence, your love grows even more while experiencing seeing these things right now. You are so grateful for the experience to be able to do some hard work of acknowledging and releasing the hard things. But all of that work got you to this moment right here, experiencing, seeing, and being in the same field as your greatest desires. And as you sip in all of the energy from these desires and their presence as you can, know that you can come back to this place at any time. You can experience them at any time. It's not the things that give us this feeling. It's us that gives us this feeling. And when we continue to feel this big, fluffy, pink heart of love without expectation, we soon find out that it holds all of the things we want, all of our desires. And those are really just a cherry on top. This feeling is really what it's all about. And we can access it always. And the fluffy pink heart, or however yours looked, starts to drift off. You don't feel upset or scared, knowing that you can access it at any time. Whenever you're ready, you can start to wiggle your toes, your fingers, start to move your arms and your legs a little bit. Come back into the room, your body. And once you're back, I hope that that was an amazing feeling, and know that you can tap into it at any time, absolutely. And that feeling that you have of chills or like goosebumps when you think of your biggest desires, that's a feeling you can access at any time. Our brains, everyone says that when we do manifestation, it's always this negative connotation of, I can't have this. I can't have it yet, but I want it. This is so frustrating. And the beautiful thing that I noticed in meditation a week or so ago is that our minds, we were designed in such a beautiful way that we can access it before we have it, because we just need to create the feeling and the emotion to what it is. And then once we know the emotion, then we can feel it whenever we want, and we can access it whenever we want. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, where we get to feel it right now. And the more we feel it right now, the closer it actually gets to our physical reality. And so I have one more thing that I want to do for integration of now all of the things that we have learned. And so we're going to do a quick EFT tapping to integrate the beliefs and kind of the feelings that we just experienced during the meditation. So if you're, let me just back up a little bit. So if you're new to EFT tapping, I'll just show you, how we do it. So you start on the head, and then we go to the eyebrows, we go to the temples, under the eye, under the nose, under the lip, on like your collarbone area, under your like armpit, kind of like if you're wearing a bra, right where your bra strap would be, and then your wrists. And so you just watch me and follow through, but those are the placements, and just follow what I say. So we're gonna start on the top of my head, the top of your head. My desires are within me on purpose. And say it with me too. I can and I will have everything I have listed here today. Because it is my birthright and it is meant for me. Even though the steps I have to take and the person I have to become to get there may seem really fucking hard. And like there are so many steps and obstacles. It's okay. It's hard to become the most powerful fucking version of myself. All of these limiting beliefs, all of these old habits, the old identity, it feels so heavy. But I will break through. Because it may be hard, but I can do hard things. Fuck yes, I can. Okay, so what we just did is a way to really integrate it's like psychological acupressure. And so when we tap certain acupressure points at the same time as we say things like what I just took us through, is how we actually, it's like a hack to reprogram your brain. So I'm actually going to do this EFT separately for whoever signed up for this, so that you can do it like for the next, at least the next week, just every day. It's super quick, as you saw, and that'll just really help to integrate and help you to continue integrating what we did here today. And so I just want to really close with saying that all of this energy, all of this full moon is all about our heart. Leo is all about the heart, and it's all about you, and it's all about heart-led actions and purposes to get what you desire. And that's why I had us drop into what you really want. What does your heart and soul really want? And then we released all the things that we felt made it impossible. And when you do things from your heart, when you feel into things like we did in the meditation, that's when things start to shift. That's when things start to really resonate with you and come into this space of your being of like, fuck, this really feels right. This really feels right. And so the more we tap into that love in our hearts, and the more we open up, no matter the resistances and the blockages, we know that we can always release those with the shadow work and the things that we do. But they get in the way. But as we really continue to come into our heart every day, if you can come up with a practice to maybe visualize things you want, or do something that makes you feel peaceful, whatever can ignite that feeling of like that big fuzzy pink heart in front of you, that's going to just start magnetizing everything into your field, and you're going to feel really fucking good in the process. Really fucking good. So yeah, so I want to leave you with definitely just finding a practice, whether it's meditation, yoga. A lot of like heart openers in yoga are good for this, to feel that love in your life every day. You are the one that generates that love. It has nothing to do with a person or a bank account number or any of these things. It is you. You put the meaning on those things to make you feel what they feel. Money makes some people feel happy and loving and expansive, and money makes other people feel broke and like shit and horrible. So it's all about how we feel about the thing. And that really goes full circle into having that thing in your life every day, that thing, by having the feeling in your life every day. And so if you want to take this shadow work that we did a step further, you can go back once we get off, or later tonight. It would be really good to do it in the energy of where we are right now in terms of the planetary alignments and all that stuff. But all of the things that you listed were hard. We can reframe those. So you can say, like, okay, working out every day and eating right is fucking hard, right? So then we say like, but the truth is, so whatever came out on that list is limiting beliefs. They're limiting beliefs are just current beliefs that are holding you back. And so when you flip them on their head and you say like, yes, I'm really lazy. The truth is, I just haven't made the time. Or the truth is, I can make the time. Or the truth is, I can join the gym, or whatever. So take it, put the truth is after it, and then flip it on its head for the whole list. And then start saying those things to yourself every day. And then that will help you to even further reprogram these new beliefs, like form and reprogram new beliefs into your head, and fuck those old beliefs. So I love you so much. I'm so happy that you came today. And yeah, let me know if anybody has any questions, or what you're feeling after the ceremony on Instagram or in the comments or whatever. So feel into this energy, really soak it up. I'm so happy that you came.